looking up my own personal quarterback rankings and produced whatever video I did, top 25 quarterbacks, and that's what I had coming into this season, because Willie's telling me that I put a lot of praise on TVD. Yeah, I did put a lot of praise. He earned it. That's where I had him ranked. Oh, the transfer quarterbacks. My bad. There we go. Number 5. That was my list to start the season. So anyway, he can play. He can play. Just
I mean, but yeah, I mean, there's been a lot that's been left to be desired, man. You know, he's not played up to the standard. He's not played up to his prior performance. We've seen this guy. We've seen him do lots of things on the field. You know what I mean? And he's not playing to that level right now. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it was wrong to give him the praise and everything. And we've seen these things from him. But yeah, he needs to start playing like himself. And I think that, you know, on offense, we need to do some things to help him, because now I think we're seeing why Mike Harley, after 6 years in college, ends up the all-time career, or 5, 6, whatever, the all-time career leader in receptions for the Miami Hurricanes. And in his 1 year at Miami, Charleston Rambo set the record for single season receptions. I think that we're seeing why that is right now, because there wasn't nothing else in that receiver room. And, you know, absent those two, you know, it's a lot of guys not getting open, and okay, we're going to have to dial this back, you know, and everything. And it's, you know, when Mark Richt got here, there was the lack of speed on the roster. He famously, you know, was asked about, we got to ask him at Media Day one year that I went. And he was like, yeah, we need more speed. Like, we can't simulate the speed that we're going to see. You know, whether it was, I forget which receiver was at Carolina right then, or Clemson, if we didn't play them that year. But he mentioned a couple of, you know, speedy teams, like, you know, and it's like, we can't replicate that. Like, we simply cannot. And, you know, and that was really talking about the offensive, you know, the wide receivers. So then you go get guys like, you know, Mark Pope and da-da-da. But now it's to the point where it's not a specific trait that's missing. It's just overall talent. So, yeah, you know, and this has just continued to be a thing with, you know, top tier wide receivers going elsewhere. And 2 days time, Hakeem Williams from my Fort Lauderdale Stranahan High School is going to make a commitment somewhere. I do not believe that that's going to be Miami that he picks on Friday. So do with that what you will. But yeah, there definitely needs to be an influx of talent at wide receiver. And Miami and the coaches knew this, man. They went after so many guys in the transfer portal. You get a Frank Ladson. There was the kid from James Madison, the record-setting wide receiver who ended up at, I forget where. But yeah, he had like 1 year in FCS and like broke every record. And so they were like, cool, like, you know, whatever. Whiff on him, whiff on like probably 2 or 3 other dudes, you know, at wide receiver. Like, they knew that this was going to probably be an issue. Maybe not to this level, because you have the, you know, the blanket, the roommate, you know, Xavier Restrepo. Okay, we can, you know, just give him the ball. And again, I think that he's a good player and obviously productive, but this just goes to reinforce the fact of what I said last week. And if Xavier Restrepo is your best wide receiver, then you're in a bad place, because he should be a number 3. I'm sorry. And there's nothing wrong with being a great number 3. Braxton Berrios just got a second contract in the NFL by being a really good number 3, pushing to be, well, he's probably maybe number 2 in the Jets. But yeah, there's a real lack of top-end talent at wide receiver, and it's really going to be something that Josh Gattis is going to have to scheme around. But luckily, we got all the tight end talent in the world. So, you know, instead of going 4 wide, let's go 2 tight, you know, whatever you got to do.
Well, the few times that he's been in games, and I'm sure I've missed most of it because of the time of the game and the opponents, but when I've seen him in spring ball as well, Jake Garcia, he can really deliver. So I'm not going there in terms of that Tyler Van Dyke needs to be benched or anything like that. But if this continues, you know, at what point do you think about making a switch?
3 losses. I would say no, I would say 3 ACC losses. Then you can maybe have that conversation. I don't really think there's a time before that. I mean, I know that Tyler needs to play better, but I'm not putting this on Tyler.
Yeah.
Entirely. So this is yeah, no.
So why would you attach pulling him to losses?
I mean, because clearly it's not getting done. So if we get to a point where we're losing games that we shouldn't be losing, hey, then anything is on the table for a conversation. I'm not saying I would, but I would say that it would need 3 ACC losses before I would even have that conversation or thought. Okay. For me.
Talking Rex is asking about wide receivers in the 23 class.
There's lots, Andy Jean from Miami Northwestern is one. Hakeem Williams, I just mentioned, from Fort Lauderdale Stranahan. There's Tyler Williams from Lakeland, who is really considering coming to Miami, which is kind of crazy because Miami, like Polk County is basically Alachua County South. Like all them boys from Lakeland go to Florida. All them boys from Lakeland have gone to Florida. The Pouncey twins, Chris Rainey, so many others that I can't even remember. But if you're a top tier guy from Polk County, you go up to Alachua County. But Miami seems to be in the fight to the finish for Tyler Williams. And that's encouraging. I'm sure that there's other ones. Brandon Ennis from American Heritage committed to Ohio State. Miami continues to try to plug away at him and Mark Fletcher, both teammates at Heritage. Running back is Fletcher and the wide receiver is Ennis. And there's, those guys, but yeah, there's going to have to be, this is going to have to really, 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 really hit at wide receiver. And then you got the Washington twin. Well, they're twins. One is linebacker and one is the wide receiver. But, he's scoring from 80, 90 yards a week, the wide receiver one. So, that's an explosive kid. Now, he's only 5'10". So, you're looking at a number 2/3/ inside kind of guy. But yeah, we need a Tyler Williams. We need a Hakeem Williams. We need a Brandon Ennis. We need a 5-star, top 4-star, we need somebody to play the X, man. We need a guy who would just be like a him ball. Like, I don't really care what you call him. Throw him the ball. And everybody knows it's coming and you're not able to stop it. The Andre Johnsons of the world. You know what I mean? Like a guy of that size and skill. That, and Amon Richards was a him guy. Even though he was slight of build, he was only 182 pounds. But still, where's the ball going to go? 82. Cool. We need one of those guys. I gave you a few names and hopefully, one or more of those hit.